Hey everybody, welcome to another Age of Grogu. And yes, we are Jasonless today, but we have with us as always Elijah and Max. How you doing, guys?
Good.
Doing good.
Cool, awesome. How's everybody's week been? Not much of a production week. There's not been a lot of interesting news this week. It's been a few bits and pieces, but what about yourselves?
Just in general, I'm good.
Yeah.
I wasn't working. I was at home most of the week, but
Oh yeah,
doing good.
that's cool. That's cool. And yeah, so guys, everybody, welcome to chat out there. And we basically are gonna talk a little bit about a couple of things today. We want to go through the Star Wars intergalactic or galactic ride, not ride,
The hotel.
the hotel. Yes, um,
Hotel.
and we were going to talk a bit about that. There's been a few new images, a few bits and pieces that have come up on that. We also were going to talk
They
about
just
the
posted.
Batman.
I mean, the whole thing. Like,
What's that? Sorry.
I'm just saying, the Starcruiser, the Galactic
Yeah,
Starcruiser. There's
that's it.
just
Yes.
complete walkthroughs of like literally everything that they've posted on YouTube from people that
Yeah.
bought it. So
Yeah.
it's fairly like covered of like everything. The complete experience is like covered.
Yeah.
Online.
Yeah, no, there's been a lot that's been online this week, just of people getting first looks and stuff like that. So we'll talk about that in a few minutes. We also were going to talk about the Batman since it opens this week. You guys excited to see that film?
Yeah, totally.
Excited?
I don't know. Another
Yep.
another gritty, grounded Batman take is cool. I
Mhm.
wish they'd explore more of the Bat lore other than just being like, look what villains haven't been used in a while.
Right. Maybe they will. We
yeah.
don't know too much
Batman,
about this film, you know.
Batman, I'd always
like-
be okay with more interpretations of Batman at this point. Like they could literally do one every year. Like it's something that like anybody, you know,
I'd see it.
it's like they could just
Yeah.
keep redoing it, and it's Batman's just always going to be cool. And they have done that really with like animation and stuff like that. There's so many
Mhm.
animated
Yeah.
movies,
Right.
so many different interpretations of Batman, Brave and the Bold, and like
Right.
they
Mhm.
did the Adam West movies, you know, like the
Yeah.
the animated with stuff. So they're kind of doing that already,
That's
which
cool.
Even
I'm
the
totally
recent
okay
Killing
with.
Joke
Yeah.
stuff
'Cause-
was great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
Or
so
not Killing Joke,
I'd be
Long
fine with
Halloween.
more movies. I'm fine with them mixing them together and all this Michael Keaton and Flash and
Right.
Batgirl and like all
Crossovers.
this like bring it on. It's
Flashpoints.
like
Yeah.
that's where it's gonna go now. This is like the new 3D for Hollywood or whatever, when they're just gonna like actually give you what you want.
Right. Yeah.
So
I mean, I was gonna bring up something a bit later on. We're gonna
there's your
go
ice
through
tea.
the
Iced coffee
costumes
is good.
of the Batman costumes over the live action stuff over the years. So we shall delve into that a bit later as well. But sorry, Elijah, you were about to say?
He was just drinking iced coffee again. I just want to bring it
Oh,
to everyone's attention.
iced
Yep.
coffee. There you go. And a little piece of information that actually dropped today, of all things. James Mangold dropped this little piece, and so it begins the first day after the storm, with an image from Raiders of the Lost Ark there. So it appears that we have come to the end of the shooting of Indiana Jones 5, and then soon after that, we had Frank Marshall put up "It's a Wrap, Indiana Jones." So I'm looking forward to Indiana Jones. It's not out until 2023, but I'm a longtime fan of Indiana Jones since I was a child.
Right.
And are you guys excited for Indy 5?
Yeah, I mean, I want to see what they do with it. I'm interested in it. I feel like they need a little bit of a fresher take than last time. It
Fair
felt
enough.
last time was a little stale for me.
Right. Okay.
So I'm excited. Yeah.
Elijah?
We'll see.
We'll see.
Hopefully it's good, but
Yeah.
like Crystal Skull was just like so like what is happening? That movie I just really like I don't know. I don't know what to expect from this new one, and like it could be cool, it could be good. It may not be, although
Oh,
I'm not. My expectations are not high, so that
Really?
like if it is good, that
Fair enough.
that it
But
would be like, oh wow, it's better than I expected. Because I don't expect it.
Right.
You know, like I don't know. There are things that like I would want to happen probably are not going to happen in this movie.
Right.
You know what I'm
how
saying?
could they happen with him at this age?
Well, there's de
I
aging,
mean,
of
not
course.
even that. Like, fine, he can be the older character in the movie, but like, I don't know, just stuff that I would like to see is not going to happen. You know, so.
Okay, fair enough. I mean, what about James Mangold as a director, though? I think he brought some amazing stuff to the film Logan. If you have seen the film Ford versus Ferrari, he did an amazing directorial job on that. Totally different
Yeah,
types
I'm
of
not
films.
talking about the director. I'm just talking
Oh,
about
no,
now
for
the
sure.
challenge of what would
Right.
you know, and if they're continuing from
Yeah.
what was in the Crystal Skull, like what continuity they're going to, like, you know,
Well,
there's
you gotta.
potential
That
for
was
it
what
to
I
be
was
good.
thinking too.
There's potential for it to be good, but like,
Right.
you know, just because Harrison Ford is in it doesn't guarantee it to be a great movie.
Fair enough, but the actual, each Indiana Jones film has stood separately with very little connection to the other, with the exception of possibly a passing comment or something like that, or a passing
Well, I
fleeting
mean,
moment.
three of
So
those
I feel like it's going to
movies
stand alone.
feel very cohesive. Like you don't
Mhm.
like it does picking up like a chapter in a book or a chapter in a
Right.
man's life or whatever,
Yep.
and the other one just seems like a cartoon.
Fair enough. Max? What's your favorite Indiana Jones to date? Did we just lose Max?
He's leaving. Oh,
I
he
think we
froze
just lost.
right
We
there.
just froze. We might have just lost Max.
Right as you
Elijah.
asked him that question.
Yeah, exactly. Elijah,
That's
what
to
is?
date. Oh man, I mean
Yeah.
they're all so good, and I
Uh-huh.
want to say Raiders, and then I
Yep.
want to say Temple of Doom because Temple of
Mhm.
Doom was I watched most as a kid.
Right.
But Last Crusade is definitely like my favorite
Okay.
of the three, just
Right.
because it's an older story. He's dealing with his dad. He's dragging his
Mhm.
dad around the whole time, and I love that, like the relationship between the two of them, and just him getting frustrated with his dad and all that stuff.
Right.
Um, you know, so I would probably say Last Crusade would be my
Right.
top one.
Oop. Nope.
What about you? Until we get Max
Me?
back.
Till we get Max back, Temple of Doom is still my personal favorite.
Yeah, I want to
It's
say that too. It's so fun of a
as
movie.
much
It's
as
a
I
great
love
movie.
Raiders and Last Crusade, and they've each got their special moments, and even the Kingdom of the Crystal Skull has got some special moments in there that I did enjoy. It was a different type of Indiana Jones film for me, but as for the one of my favorite, Temple of Doom has just got this place in my heart. It took us so far left field away from Raiders of the Lost Ark for me. I mean, we go into the heart of India with
That
the
it was
whole.
my favorite when I was younger. I
Yeah,
mean, we used to watch that
there
all the
was
time.
and
I
I
mean, we used to watch it
personally
just before Last Crusade came out.
Mhm.
We would be
Yeah.
watching Temple of Doom like
Yeah.
nonstop on VHS.
Right.
We used to love that
My
movie.
favorite score of the Indiana Jones films from John Williams is the Temple of Doom. I think
Yeah.
there's some fantastic score moments and score beats that he has that he plays throughout. And even though Raiders of the Lost Ark is so iconic for the Indiana Jones score, Temple of Doom had the most throughout the film set of beats that I really enjoyed that connected to the film to make the humor and the comedy of what Temple of Doom was like a bit more fast-paced moving and
Yeah.
a little more silly as well. It was definitely a silly film. But
I wouldn't
I
call it
thoroughly
silly
enjoyed it.
at all. I wouldn't
There was
call
some
it.
silly moments in it. Come on. There was some great silly moments.
I don't know. I wouldn't. That's. I don't know. What would you call silly moments?
I don't know, jumping out of an airplane in a rifle in a life raft, landing in the water of the rapids, going over a waterfall, and ends up right at the heart of. I thought that was beautifully silly.
Believable and I mean just scraping silly, but
Yeah,
they make
yeah.
that believable.
Oh no, completely, absolutely.
They make that
in a fun way.
really work in that
Yeah.
story, like
Mhm.
believable for that story, and like you know, like
Sure. No, totally.
what's silly is the in Crystal Skull where like the whatever truck goes off on the tree and the tree goes boing and boings them
You're talking
back
about
like
sound
it's
effects. silly. Okay.
or whatever. But you know what I'm talking about, where
Yeah,
like
yeah,
it's
yeah.
the tree and the tree
Mhm.
flicks it back up. Okay,
Fair enough.
without my cartoonish sound effects.
Without
But
you cut it.
that's
Yeah.
silly.
Okay. That fair enough. Fair
So
enough.
I don't think
No,
there's
no
silly
more
moments
sillier
in
than
it, but
jumping out of an airplane in a life raft and landing in the ocean, in the river. But
yeah,
there were some things.
less silly.
I think that my biggest problem with Kingdom of the Crystal Skull was George Lucas's original idea was he put too much content of what was going on within the 60s, from the nuclear threat to the Russian threat to
Oh yeah,
to
yeah,
um
yeah.
the
UFO,
UFOs and
and
aliens.
yeah,
And it's not that I didn't like the UFO stuff. I just felt there was so much going on that it got a little jumbled up and a little muddy. And then they threw the whole Indiana Jones son in the middle of it,
yeah,
which was I was fine with that. But here we go. We got Max back. Yeah, I was fine with that. But at the end of the day, it's like I wish there was a slightly different actor that was picked to be Indiana Jones's son at that point. That was one of my
yeah,
thoughts.
yeah. It's like
Yeah,
now we don't. Yeah, I know what you're
yeah.
saying.
Max, welcome back. So, what was your favorite Indiana Jones film?
Oh my god,
Hey, Liam. That's cool.
that is
Everybody
a
else is
hard
late too.
question.
Yeah,
Can I just say that's just the first like two
great.
combined?
Okay, fair enough.
That
Because those are
works.
two I could
That
just,
works for me.
to me they're interchangeable in terms of quality.
Hmm.
From my opinion, I grew up on both of them watching to me they were always the same quality.
Right. Yeah.
It wasn't until Crystal Skull that I really like woke up and I was like, whoa, this is like a different franchise.
Okay, fair enough.
That's what I've been trying
And
to. That's what I've been saying for the last couple minutes here.
Yeah,
Completely different.
Liam, I
Well,
agree. Temple of Doom is my favorite too. It's just personally a lot of fun. Again, it was like I was 14 when that film came out, but
yeah.
man, I loved it. I loved every second of it. I love, and we're going to go into more chat about this in the following years as the film comes out for Indy 5, but they did, George Lucas did the Young Indiana Jones Chronicles, which is a TV series shot under his own budget. They shot for like a year around the world and did, an entire, couple of seasons actually. They did some incredible production work, and that's definitely what will unravel in the future. I don't know if you guys ever saw that. I've got them all on DVD, which is kind of cool. So each episode took place in a time period of
I remember when
Indiana
they were
Jones's
on.
young life.
I never got
And
into it. My dad used to watch it all the time, but I never got.
it's
into
worth
watching
watching it.
the
It's
series.
worth rewatching as an adult, as much older, because there is definitely some great historic stuff. Lucas wrote in like 2 to 3 historical characters that young Indiana Jones would meet in that time frame, whether it was Indiana Jones at the age of 10 years
Right.
old or Indiana Jones at the age of 16. So it was a very interesting time period of development of both the world and the country and the world, and which was cool. The bridge fight scene was awesome. I really, again, I loved all of Temple of Doom. I just loved the pacing. Short Round was and yeah, everybody loves Short Round. I mean, I love Short Round. It was great. He was great as Data in
He was a
Goonies as well.
great little comedy
Yeah,
extra,
absolutely.
a little bit.
Yeah, and that was his first film he
and
ever
relate
acted
to
in.
kids. You're like, whoa, you're going on this crazy adventure with
Mhm.
this dude and this
Yeah.
hysteric lady.
Yeah. So yeah, I meant, and again, just for those in chat, they wrapped up Indiana Jones 5, and the reason why we're kind of touching base on Indy 5 today is because it is wrapped and they go into post production for the next year. Any other thoughts on Indiana Jones at this point, guys?
I hope instead of a fridge this time, they put him inside a dishwasher, and instead of a nuke, it's like 20 ballistic nukes, and he still survives.
I don't think it's going to be anything like that. I feel like just because of a few images, we've seen Harrison Ford with all the dots on his face. So I assume they're going to de-age Indiana Jones.
I haven't seen the dots on his face.
Yeah, there was an image with him with
you have a photo of that?
actor Toby. I don't have it here actually, but there was an actor Toby Jones who was in. He played the computer guy character in who became the computer in
Computer guy who
Endgame,
became the computer
in Marvel. In Marvel, the Nazi who became the computer.
Okay.
Zola.
Zola, thank you. Yes, that actor there, he's in Indiana Jones 5, and there's a photograph of him and Harrison Ford, and Harrison Ford's got some dots for obviously de-aging the face at that point.
Okay, so it's got to be a portion.
I'm
like
going to hopefully, there's going to be a
flashback.
part of it. It's going to be a flashback, which I'm guessing
sort of
which
tie
would be
in.
kind of cool. But which is kind of a great way to tell a story for a character whose primary, time period was the 30s and 40s when he was much younger, and so it'll be nice to see this tie through whatever they do. I mean, I love James Mangold as a director. I'm looking forward to seeing what he does. I believe he's also co-writing it, if not written the script. I'm not too sure about the details of that, but I am looking forward to seeing what he does as a director to Indiana Jones. Spielberg is still producing, by the way, which is great too.
That's
yeah.
That's good.
Fair enough.
Yeah. I'm producing it. Give me some of that money.
Well, I mean, his name is permanently attached to Indiana Jones. It's fine.
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to seeing what James Mangold brings to the table, and as such, So that's the Indiana Jones news of the day. There's a couple of Star Wars bits and pieces I wanted to kind of touch base on. There's a new book coming out, another art of, called Timelines. Actually, it's not the art of, but it's going to be actually all on. It's going to give us hopefully the most full,
books.
Exactly, of everything. Apparently, the movies, the TV shows, up to date. So I think that's going to be kind of a cool thing. If it's going to be as in depth as what I think it's going to be, we're going to get precision time frames as to everything in Boba Fett and
what's the name
Mandalorian.
of that? Publishing, who publishes it? DK or
DK? Yes, yeah.
They make a lot of the good. I mean, their books are always very nice, right?
Right? Yeah. No, absolutely, for sure.
Kind of looks like it would be a good history.
Yeah.
You go through
completely.
Whatever encyclopedia of timeline, basically.
Yeah. Well, it's going to go through everything with. It looks like Rebels is on there because the Ghost is there. They've got obviously everything from Rogue One to the Clone Wars. So it's going to be
up there.
High Republic. Oh yeah, High Republic in there as well, which is great because although the books are explaining where the High Republic is, it'll be nice to see the exact points in time and how that all interacts and stuff like that. That's kind of a cool one. What was this one here? Oh yes,
I saw that.
Okay, so yes, this is kind of a big thing. There is a Twitter account now being built by Disney or by Lucasfilm for Obi-Wan Kenobi. But that's all they're going to show us. They're not letting us do any following on it. They're not going to let us do a single thing. So I'm going to assume there's a possibility they might be dropping an Obi-Wan Kenobi trailer soon, but we've been saying that for months now. So I don't know. What are your thoughts? Do you think we'll get an Obi-Wan trailer soon, guys?
It has to drop before the show. I mean,
I know.
Yeah,
I know.
which is in May, right? May?
Exactly.
End of May.
Yeah, it's in May.
May 25th.
So, it's got to come eventually.
May. Would they wait until May the 4th to show the 4th of May to show
They can't
anything?
do it that late. I mean,
it's way too soon to the show. I mean, it is Obi-Wan. They could just surprise drop it tomorrow and get the same amount of viewers.
People are just getting, rather than anticipation, are just getting pissed off that there's been nothing out there.
Well,
we've got so much.
I mean, what would be the next Disney thing or next? I mean, trailer. What would be the next?
Moon Knight.
Well, Moon Knight is next, but the Bad Batch is expected to drop before then as well, and we've had nothing on the Bad Batch. Presumably, we're getting half of the Bad Batch, 8 episodes, sometime in the spring, and then the other 8 in the fall. But
and Star Wars Celebration or Star Wars Day, that's in May as well.
How's that? Yeah.
Star Wars Celebration. That's in May.
Yeah, that's in May as well. But I think they're going to go through. Yeah, Liam has got here. Yeah. If anything's going to happen, they're going to drop the trailer now. They've got to drop something. It seems like it's way too late for them to wait till May 4th to drop a trailer for
something that's going to happen in 2 weeks.
Something exactly. Yeah, only a few weeks
Only
later,
2 weeks.
kind of thing. Yeah, I mean, we all know it's coming, but it's like I mean,
Maybe
Yeah,
towards the
they
end of
want
Moon
you
just
want
Knight,
people
just
to
a
talk about it
teaser.
for
I mean, they've only
2 months,
shown
for a
us
couple months.
the logo and a poster, and I don't know. It's kind of a bit absurd. I still wish I knew what.
And when did they
Their
create that? What was that, Twitter, or what was that page
Hmm?
that you showed?
That page was created about 3 or 4 days
For
ago. I think
Twitter?
it might have been even on Friday actually.
On what,
Um,
Twitter?
no, well, yes, on Twitter,
Okay.
but made by Star Wars, and it's an official
Right.
account. People have
I'm
looked
just
into
asking
it.
if it was the platform or something.
Yeah, it is Twitter. Yes. Oh, and there is an Instagram as well.
Oh, okay.
So
The same
it
thing with
went
no
up the
photo?
same. Yeah, that same thing exactly. Zero followers, and they're
they
not
could be
letting
just
anybody following. And
they could just have them so no one else takes the account though.
yeah, I mean, they could be just sitting there, just laughing at everybody, just talking about the fact that all they've got is this. I mean, they who knows? I mean, yeah, we've got 3 months
I
before
mean,
this
that's true. They
series
could have just
drops.
grabbed it before, like, oh, what?
Hmm.
Do we have an Obi-Wan Instagram? Oh,
Yeah,
crap. Let's hurry up and grab it real
yeah.
quick.
Well,
That's
we
true.
are all talking about it, and we all are kind of we want to see something at this point, and it feels
Use the
like
full sprint.
no, it's not going to work that way. Obi-Wan. I don't know. It's
You
really
must,
weird
yeah,
marketing.
you must, okay.
Yeah. So
They're
speaking of,
doing a teaching. They're like trying to teach us something.
well,
A
speaking of
lesson in patience.
a lesson
Mm-hmm.
in patience, exactly. Well, speaking of weird marketing, we have
Oh,
some
gosh.
images. People have been going in this past week and checking out the Galactic
We don't need
Starcruiser.
to show the illustrations anymore. We can show what looks like in real life.
But the illustrations are so much cooler, I think, than the
I know,
real
but the point is you should show
images.
the real photos because that's the
Yeah.
reality and not like an
Well,
illustration.
this
We'd
this
like
is
to
an
walk into that drawing, but
Yeah, no, this is an illustration of the main singing hall. I guess it's a food dining area of sorts, and it's the main entertainment area. And it just feels a lot less grand. The very here you've got high ceilings, you've got the look of massive openness. Here it feels very crowded and very very
short,
closed in.
like 13-foot ceilings and
Yeah, I mean, it just I don't know. There's this element of I don't know whether it feels like they kind of went into this project thinking that you know they 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 lost budget in the middle of it or something, or they decided to cheap out on certain things.
I
I
don't know.
mean,
I would just think with like,
mm,
I'm not a commercial
mm,
commercial carpenter or whatever,
right.
well, like there's got to be like just you can't even get a permit for a building if it doesn't fit in the codings of regulations of for a
Fine.
building.
Yes,
So they
absolutely.
wanted to build some
But
sort of dome thing. You're like, you can't do that. Like, for one, it's got to be structurally this and this and this,
yeah,
and you're gonna have to like you have to fit the design
but
into what is
yeah.
capable for like the building or the what's coded for like
So
building.
what you're saying is
I
Galaxy's
would,
Edge doesn't count in this situation? I mean, because Galaxy's Edge is all
it's
structural and
that's
supportive
I
and
mean
yeah.
that's outdoor
Hmm.
and
Right.
you're not using it, you're not using the space. It's not
Okay.
you're not like
Okay. All right. Makes
whatever.
sense.
That's an outdoor thing. You're not
Right.
inside. Uh, there's
Mhm.
limitations anywhere you go when you go in
They
any
also have to like
building.
sleep there too.
Right. No, for
It's
There's
sure.
gonna
also
be
like
But
like
public code on
those
top of that.
but
commercial like it's got to be within
right.
these dimensions and
But
this
you
type of
guys,
like thing. Blah
yeah.
blah blah blah.
But you guys have been to Vegas. You've seen how they theme out each of their interiors of the different, Treasure Island and the Luxor, and you've got all these different decked out kind of environment kind of feels. Do you feel like
Yeah,
this
but
hotel
you're
has that
still
kind of
talking
vibe?
like the exteriors and not the.
Mhm.
This becomes
Oh
an
no, no, no!
interior.
I'm talking about inside the hotels themselves. I'm talking about the inside. Have you ever been there and just walked around the interiors of these places and just felt like this is cool or this feels like a hotel?
Yeah, I
I mean,
think Star Wars
Yeah,
probably had a little less to work with than them. I think
mm.
Star Wars probably
But you
had
meant
to
budget wise, budget
not
wise, or
not even just budget wise. They
mm,
have to fit something that everyone kind of could dream about.
Right.
and it's kind of almost near impossible to happen without it looking a
Right.
little cheap and tacky.
Yeah,
Yeah,
fair
it's
enough.
not like making the Paris. You go in the Paris or whatever. Like you're like
Mhm.
for an example with Vegas. Like you go into that
Yeah.
interior
Mhm.
Paris, and they have like the canal, the whatever
Yeah. Well, I think it's
inside, and
incredible. Yeah.
it looks cool. It looks great. And you're walking around it, and it's believable.
Mhm.
And it's fun in that space. But
Yeah.
it's right. He's like it's that's something you're familiar with. It's not like a Star Wars property or something that like it has to have.
Right.
There's a certain connection, a certain feel, a certain,
Mhm.
Star Wars is age and you want it to be metal and you want to go up there and feel that like
Right.
you want buttons to do things, you want things to function.
Well,
That just looks like a hall. It just looks like a dining
yeah,
hall,
that's the one thing I'm bringing up here is like this is part of the video that Max sent me of some footage that someone had took inside,
Yeah.
and yeah, it's very plain and very ordinary on the
Like
walls, and
it's dressed for
yeah,
what they can the space that they can make and get away with having people
right.
in and like
No,
with coding and all that type of with
but as a
zoning
set
laws and
as
building laws.
yeah, but as a set designer, there's flat, boring walls on the back there that go the entire span of the back there. It's like you could have patterns, you could have shapes, you can have bulkhead design that's off of the wall that
Right.
doesn't have to do anything more than just add a bit more interesting elements to the walls.
Right.
So
Even
there's a
some
lot
Star
of
Wars light panels would have been a little nice.
yeah, just anything. Yeah, even imperial panels or stuff like that would be amazing in this kind of space.
Yeah, it's definitely in that respect, it's definitely they missed the mark of
Hmm.
what they could have used in Star Wars to make
Yep.
this ship feel like Star Wars.
Yeah,
They
yeah.
they they a bad choice in design of what they were going for, and like all the BB-8, like
Hmm.
the orange and white that they're using for the ship. It's just like
Right. I don't know. I don't mind the color stuff. The food is kind of cool. This is part of the merchandise stuff that I'm about to jump into. But they've got these pins that are kind of cool. Nope, that's more of the oh,
Do you know what
sorry.
this reminds me
Yeah.
of? Have any of you guys heard of it was a restaurant called Mars 2112?
Right.
I
It was like a
remember
theme,
I've heard of it.
that.
yeah, it was like a theme restaurant in New York that was trying to like the idea was it brought you to Mars and it was like really tacky and you got your food delivered to you by
Oh
people
yeah.
dressed in funny costumes and stuff like
Uh-huh.
that. And
Well,
it
I
kind
think Disneyland has something like that
Oh,
where it's
this
like
is yeah, the pins.
uh space station. You go up
Hmm.
into a space station, you have dinner on a space station. It's the same sort of like
Right.
kind of view where you're like viewing the Earth from. You know what I'm talking about?
Right.
yeah,
Something
yeah, I
like
think
that.
so. Yeah.
That's something they haven't out that they do now.
Yeah.
So they still have those themed environments. I mean, it's basically like uh, uh, the Knights of the whatever round table dinner theater.
Oh yes. I
Yeah,
mean,
medieval times.
Medieval
yeah,
times.
that's yeah,
Medieval times where you're like,
yeah.
oh, you're like, just make this a dinner experience and don't make it a
That's
Right.
what they should have
hotel.
done though.
Like
They should have
they
had
could have
like
made it a
lightsaber
really elaborate,
dueling.
like
Yeah.
even if it was a 2-course meal thing or something like long. I
Hmm.
mean, they could just pack people in. You
Yeah.
could do that as whatever,
Yeah. Makes
more
sense.
elaborate and more stuff. I don't know.
Right.
That would have been cooler. Like you're on the ship eating dinner. The ship gets taken over by like Sith lords, and then a bunch
Yeah.
of Jedi have to fight them. And
Yeah.
you just watch the joust while you eat some
Yes. Yeah.
mediocre
Yeah,
Well,
yeah,
why?
food.
yeah.
That would have
Yeah.
been
That.
better.
Yeah. No, I agree. A bit of a
And
live.
the same
I
amount of
mean,
employees, you could have
yeah.
more aliens, more
Hmm.
that type of thing.
Yeah. Well,
Um,
here's the thing, guys. We don't know what kind of action
and the
scenes take
price.
place in the middle of in the middle of the song and show kind of thing too. So they could have some of that in there.
The price
We
tag on all of this is also the
that's
big
that's still the
clincher
big
too.
thing.
Like this
It's
is
still very
not
expensive.
like you're a lot of this whatever is like off of like the price. Like say the price was like way less expensive, like
Hmm.
I'm sure people would be like, well, it's good for the dollar.
Yeah.
But
Uh-huh.
when they're making you pay like $6,000 or whatever it is per person, or a
Right.
thousand
Right.
dollars per night or
Yep.
whatever it is per person,
Yeah.
that's a lot of money. And
Yeah.
you would expect it to be fully uh
Yeah.
encompassing. Like I'd rather spend $1,000 and
Hmm.
go
Yeah.
put
Makes
on
sense.
a stormtrooper suit and go
Right.
with the 501st Legion or do something versus
Right. Yeah.
go
No,
into
yeah, totally.
into
Yeah.
a theme. You're going into a theme park. It's all,
Hmm.
it's just not as I know it's just the beginning, but
Yeah.
it seems like there's a lot of tweaking to do.
Yeah.
I don't know. He's right. For this
Make it
price, Mando should come out
Just-
and shoot the singer, and then now you're in an episode of Mandalorian.
There you go. Just
Right.
Liam, just so you know, yes, as we were saying at the beginning, Jason is actually got family in town, so he's not with us today. So he'll be back probably next week. Yeah. As for no, I understand that. It makes sense. It's kind of this weird. I don't know. It always felt a little wrong to have a hotel themed spaceship design for Star Wars as an environment when it just I don't know it just feels like it's so contained. But I have to admit though, I'm enjoying the merchandise stuff they've been doing. I mean, it seems like the logo itself is this little charm piece here. Um, we see it in the food, we see it in the thing. I believe there's a captain's hat
Right.
that's actually got it as well. It looks like a weird dollar sign though, if you look about it.
Yeah,
Yeah,
a mix
that-
between the pound
Mhm.
and the
Yeah.
and the cent or
Yeah.
whatever.
But there is some cool merchandise stuff. And of course, you have to pay a pretty penny to be able to get all that, to
To
dress
even
up.
walk in
And,
there to this now buy some stuff
Mm.
after you spent
Right.
$1,500 per night. Now you have to buy some.
Yeah, well, I mean, yeah. I
Give me
think
that
there's
green
stuff-
jacket. Like I
Yeah,
like
I-
that green jacket, but like
Yeah.
I would wear that. That's a cool jacket.
Right,
But
right.
like you can only get it on this stupid ship, and it's
Yeah.
gonna cost you what, $300?
Yeah. I mean,
Not
yeah.
I
I
feel like
mean,
if you could afford the ticket for the
yeah,
Yeah,
I guess
in the
you
first
probably
place,
get a few
you can
pieces
get
of
on
merch.
Yeah.
there.
No, exactly. I agree. Yeah, if you could afford that, then you could afford some of this. They've got their own stylized lightsaber. It seems. I think this is more the the versions that you. I'm not too sure exactly which version that is, to be honest. They've also got their own design droid, which is kind of cool as well. I like the droid design.
I'm surprised they haven't shown off like droids just roaming the halls. Like, I feel like that would have been the big selling point is have like
Oh yeah,
just full scale
there.
droids, like
Yeah,
donk droids and all that, just
yeah.
roaming the halls.
Yeah, there is. I think they might have that possibly in the loading when you bring in your luggage and stuff like that. It's hard to tell. I mean, I know they got the Wookiee concept there. There is a Rhodian, a female Rhodian who is. I've seen a little bit of video footage where she's talking and stuff like that, and I think it's a voice box inside the actual headpiece, but it looks very cool. It looks very detailed. So I'm sure that there's this element of being. There's a very different element of being somewhere and seeing it on video as well. So I'm hoping that the disillusion of what we are seeing on video is not taking away from the actual experience of being there in person. If I had the money, the
Unfortunately, I
question
would
is,
say the other
yeah,
way around,
yeah,
that it probably looks better on your phone
right.
and on camera than
Mm.
it does in person.
I think so too. I
Yeah.
think in person it probably looks
Yeah.
pretty
Because
cheap.
in person,
Really? Okay.
you're
You can see the
distracted
textures and the
by.
materials.
Yeah.
You can feel
Yeah.
it, you can smell it,
Yeah.
you can like see like
Fair
the
enough.
It's gonna
actors'
be dirty too.
microphones, and
Yep.
like you can hear it's just like the baby's crying and like
Your cell phone's gonna break immersion
Right.
immediately too when you're
Uh-huh.
texting your friend.
yeah.
Yeah.
Do you guys think this would have worked better with a different property, like a Marvel hotel or a DC hotel?
Possibly. It depends again on the settings specifically.
I think it
But
would have been
again,
easier to pull off.
yeah.
I
Mar-
think
mean-
Marvel, I
Yeah.
could see a Marvel thing for sure, because you're not like you're not putting someone in you're not sleeping in your own space quarters for
Mhm.
the night. You would have like a New York apartment or something.
Yeah.
exactly.
You know,
or Tony
looking
Stark's
thing.
like,
Tony Stark, and if you
hotel.
had a window, you're looking out the window and you see Spider-Man swinging by, and you could see like an interactive like window or whatever, but you'd
Yeah.
be in a believable space, and you wouldn't be working with like, I'm just saying, like, because it's
Yep.
space and because they
Yeah.
have to work within the whatever, the zoning and building rules and limitations that they have, and I think that throws off just so much. Like that
makes
cuts off.
sense.
Like, what can we do? Oh, like we can't do 90% of what we want to do.
Right.
So we have to work within this zone. Like it has to work within these coded zoning rules. Like it needs, there needs to be an exit sign. You need to have an exit here. You need to have this bathroom there, and all those type of, all that type of thing leads into design
it breaks
accomplish. Yeah,
right. It breaks the
realism
a little bit.
Right.
Yeah, I can understand that.
I think Liam has a good point here about a hotel stylized as the Batcave.
That'd be awesome.
Gotham City would have worked as a great idea for this hotel with the whole murder mystery.
Oh
thing.
yeah,
like you're
absolutely.
having dinner.
Oh yeah.
And Two-Face takes over or something.
I
You gotta help Batman solve it.
That would be like a
Burton
huge
style of look and vibe around you.
Like,
plus,
do
they
you
could sell
sleep in
great Gotham
Metropolis
wardrobe.
Yeah,
Metropolis or Gotham. Like one would be a dingy, dark, gothic hotel, and one would be like a industrial, like ideal future hotel.
Well, speaking of the Batman, I think we're kind of left the ball behind us there with the Star Wars Hotel. So let's jump into what comes out this week and talk a little bit about it.
Otherwise,
fair enough. We're talking about the Batman. It comes out on Friday this week. Thursday
coming
actually.
Up.
You guys excited for the Batman?
I mean, it's I don't know. I think Batman needs to take a step away from the grounded takes. I think they need to have a little more fun, especially with the villains. Have some fun with the villains. He has a roster of great, just zany villains, and they're always like, "We got this guy that's just a human who does human stuff."
Yep, for sure. What about yourself?
I want to see him versus like Man Bat or Killer Croc,
right?
Something like that. Something very out of the human realm.
Yeah, I mean, I feel that, and this one just feels like more gritty and even more on the street than than Nolan's movies does. This one feels like, okay, well, if there's some rich guy, he could actually accomplish what he's doing. I mean, just from what I've seen very little, and I don't want to see more until I see the movie.
It's supposed to be about a 3-hour film, I believe, right?
Yeah, and I like that. That's good. It's like we're all used to longer movies now, and now you kind of like, I think the format has changed. Like you're not wrapping everything up in a 2-hour movie. 3 hours kind of like gives you time to like build a story, get your exciting incident thing in there, and then there's whatever you have your midpoint. It just gives you a longer stretching those moments out or by another 10-20 minutes for each little segment that you would have in your your normal Hollywood script. I think it's more acceptable. So 3 hours kind of gives you what you want and not leading like, oh man, I wish there was more there, and not having to put a DVD out that has like, oh, there was 4 hours of unused footage.
Well, it's funny. I think people said the Snyder Cut was way too long, and that covered 6 characters.
No, I didn't think it was too long. I actually didn't.
I thought it was a good length.
I actually easily sat through the Snyder Cut
really well.
Make the movie what's appropriate for your story. Like, if it's an hour and a half and your story works, it's an hour and a half. If it's 2 hours and 45 minutes or whatever, it's like, when you get to that sweet spot, like don't be changing it because like it's just they need, because there's you need to have, they put a arbitrary time in there because you need trailers and this many make it just whatever, all the logistics of like you can only squeeze in 5 movies in the day if you make it 3 hours and
I think that's kind of, I think they're starting to break that line of now,
let it go for what feels best, the best cut at the best time. It's like let it be that, even if it's an odd timing,
Well, I've been avoiding pretty much spoilers. I have not been that excited to get into the Batman for some reason, because it does feel similar to what we've seen before, but I could be wrong, and I'm obviously going to see it. I've got tickets for Friday night to see this. Max, you got what, Thursday night?
Thursday night,
Thursday night. So next week we'll be able to definitely break. I assume, Elijah, you're going to try to get to see it before the next weekend?
I'll probably go on Friday.
and then we'll definitely be able to talk about our thoughts about the film next week. I mean, I love the franchise of the Batman franchise. I don't know whether I'm just drained of the Batman right now, or whether it's just a matter of I just need to be in the theater to experience the moment. And at this point, I feel like I want to be in the theater to experience the moment right now.
I'm not super excited, but I've also stayed away from a lot of the trailers and stuff. Like I've watched it once, but like, it's not obviously not giving us what we want.
Yeah,
I think the extra time that they had during, the pandemic, COVID, the extra release time, I think will save it, and will.
Oh, I think story is going to be.
I'm sure it benefited the movie, timing, editing, music, whatever they had to do to it. I'm sure that's going to increase the quality of the movie.
And from what I understand, the music in the trailer is actually also going to be the same theme used in the film, which is kind of rare these days. Usually,
that's his.
That's
they released the score with it too. The Batman's theme.
Yes, that's Michael. I can never pronounce his name.
Gian something.
Gian. Yeah, yes, he's great.
It's
composer.
A long name.
Yeah. I'm so terrible with names. Sorry, guys. But he does he does so much work these days.
It's a great theme. It actually might be one of my favorite Batman themes. Even if I don't love the movie, I love that theme.
Yeah. No,
I can't kind of place it. I don't know. I can't even think of what it sounds like at the moment. But.
The theme is like the da 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 da. Like, I don't know, it's just so epic. I was actually reading the newest issue of Batman, listening to that song, being like, this actually really works as a soundtrack for Batman. Just like pages.
That's funny.
What theater are you seeing it at, Max?
I'm seeing it at AMC in Burbank.
Okay, and then Brent?
I'm going to be seeing AMC in Century City with a few other friends who are seeing it too. So, we should have. We ended up missing the ballpark of getting together to see it as a group, but it's cool. I mean, we'll see a Marvel film together next, and we'll see the Star Wars film together when they
Doctor Strange coming up next too. With
Doctor Strange, I know. That's
before we
cool.
know that one.
So, guys, with the Batman, we've had many renditions of the Bat outfit over the years, and I'm going to jump into the live-action movies and TV show-related Batman.
Oh yeah,
I'm pretty sure I've got every one of them covered here at some point or another. But
you have the date. You have the dates, right?
I've got the dates. Yeah. So. Batman kind of started off way back as a TV serial in 1943, and this was the Batsuit from 1943. It's actually pretty cool for the time period.
And honestly, you know what? Like if you look at the comic books from that time to this, it's spot on. Really spot on, and it's really close.
No, totally.
That's the fun thing about some of these costumes. It's like, okay, let's not make fun of the costume. You're like, let's place it to, when it was released and what was going on at the time. And this stuff, they like, when you look at it, oh, that's silly. But if you look at the comic book next to it,
totally.
It's like, wow, they did a really good job back in the day for costumes. And when this is like a new thing.
The shape of the cow on this one is such a specific line. If you have a look at the nose, I like how it comes down to a direct point.
That's Max. It's in the earlier comic books. That's
they're going with the V.
The V.
Very cut like that.
Yeah, no, I kind of like this design here. We then jump forward from 1943 to 1949, which doesn't quite work as well.
I just love it because I don't know. Robin just looks so silly. He looks so sad.
He does, doesn't he? Yeah. They don't look like they're having a good time on set.
And these also look like maybe recycled costumes that they patched together from something else. Robin's look like it could have just been they just
the indentation, Batman's indentation here is so
the way the mask is
weird. It's actually it goes
got the high belt. It's got the Robin sign.
the
Robin's
face
got
padding on his.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's funny.
the Robin is more traditional, but the Batman's version, his
And his eyeballs are like at the top.
Yeah,
of
I
the cut
know.
of the,
I
you
know. It's
it
like
doesn't really
it
fit.
doesn't
Anything
fit
else.
properly. I know. Yeah, it's kind of a funny. So
That's before they could figure out like patterns of people's heads
but
to get.
I don't. Yeah, but this looks pretty cool. I mean,
I
compared
think they got
to
lucky.
that,
They must have gotten lucky.
Yeah, they got lucky with the right build of the person and stuff like that. But
well, they put it on and then cut it around.
Better
him.
photo too. Probably.
Could have. Yeah, maybe. I mean, it's still. I mean, look at the bat signal though. The logo itself is.
That was the early bat
weird.
signal. That was how Bob Kane and Bill Finger kind of did it originally. Where it actually was a bat.
Oh right, with an actual wireframe look on the chest.
Yeah, it was literally just like a whole bat. Like it just looked like a bat.
Right.
Way more like with the skeleton too and the legs.
Right. Yeah, no, it definitely does. It feels a little more creepier though in look. It also looks it doesn't look symmetrical too with the chest. The way
no, it definitely wasn't.
Yeah.
His belt is like just like a lady's yellow, like a belt, like a thick belt that like it's just like a lady's belt.
Yeah.
There's no pockets on it. There's no pouches. It's just
there isn't.
It's
like a leather belt.
Yeah, hang on a sec. Did this guy have? Yeah, this guy's got pockets and belts. Yeah, he's got belt pouches.
He's got the
pockets.
utilities.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Yeah, Batman kind of as a little. Anyway, from there, I couldn't see anything else that jumps forward until we hit old Adam West.
Adam West,
which is still just hokey as hell, but so much fun.
I love it.
Yeah,
I've always loved that bat suit.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's because I grew up watching that show, but I think it's the short horns that do it for me.
That do it. Yes, for me too. It's the. You kind of have to get past the lower half, like below the neck.
Yeah, he was not exactly the fittest of looking Batman.
Well, I always imagined the suit was bulletproof, so it worked.
Okay, fair enough.
But there is a thing where just like that's what you had when I was we're all kind of all around the same age. But they used to play that on reruns for me, and that was what this is what I was familiar with before Michael Keaton. Like this is Batman.
Yep.
So it worked.
The use of the cowl is cool.
The colors. The colors are more like the Super Friends and the what I was familiar as a kid comic book.
Yeah.
But
it was the friendlier era of Batman where they were like they were leaning into the bright blues and the yellows.
Yeah.
Yes. And
well, definitely. I mean, the villains were all completely hokey and colorful too, and this is also the first time we saw Batman in color, which also was kind of a, also kind of a cool ability of taking some color into everything. And they definitely put color into all their villains.
Well, it's cool how they adapted the shading of Batman into the colors of his suit.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah.
Cesar Romero. Romero is his last name. Great Joker.
Yeah. He was.
That
awesome
was a Joker. Yeah.
No, totally. Yeah, you know that. I mean, this is a story, of course, that has been around for years. But he never shaved his mustache off. He had a makeup over his actual mustache.
He just painted over it.
It just painted over it. He would never. He wouldn't shave his mustache off for the role.
I will still say he's the most accurate live-action Joker to date.
Really? Okay.
Yeah, I mean, he's just having fun, causing madness because it was the wrong thing to do.
Yeah.
To me, that's just most of the Joker.
Yeah. I really liked later on Gotham's Joker, who was played by
Jeremiah.
Yeah, who
that was a great take on. I enjoyed that.
Yeah,
they even did the Greg Capullo where he cut his face off.
Yeah,
that was great.
Yeah, no, they did some great story arcs, but also I just loved his performance as Joker too. I thought he had a strong performance. That was
Cameron
Monaghan. Yeah, Monaghan. Yeah, I believe it is. Yeah.
Cal Kestis,
yes, exactly. So then from there we jump into 1989. This is what was considered the first gritty Batman, where they do play use of the bright emblem of the yellow against the black, but they definitely, I don't know. I mean, personally for me, this is still my favorite Batman costume.
Yeah, this just I know the mechanics of the suit don't work. I mean, but I had this poster on my wall, like it's just rubber.
Oh yeah.
But it looks good. He can't move around in it. He's doing the. I got to move my whole body to like look around. But it does look good. It does look great, and I love even down to like on this Batman when you look at his pieces.
Yeah,
it's like, oh, he could have made that. He's wearing Nikes and he's wearing like shin guards from like whatever shin guards from a sports thing, and like you can kind of see how he would piece this together. So it's believable that like someone could make this suit, which is another thing I like about it.
Yeah. No, it's a great. We go taller on the cow ears. The points get larger there again. So we go from almost nothing to which is cool. And again, it just shows the adaptation of how the comic book changed over the years, and how they were adapting to the most current of times. But here's the funny
that
thing,
belt too. That belt also
the
stands
belt's
out.
awesome.
Although it makes no sense on how it would stick to him, or like where it would get attached to it.
I just thought it didn't have enough. It didn't have enough pouches for me. I need a lot of pouches for him to be like, where does he keep everything?
Yeah, but it does.
He does pull a lot of stuff out from the back.
Really cool.
He pulls out his bat gun from the back behind. He's like, whatever he can fit behind the cape. Obviously, he is where he goes from there. We hit from that point. We hit Batman Returns, which is almost identical. I think they made a few slight changes compared to it.
The chest is obviously different. It's like the mold is cleaner. Just it's
the cow is also changed too a little bit.
Yeah, it's more streamlined and more like fitting his face, more like thinner and less bulky than the previous one.
Yeah, because in both cases he's got no neckline. You really don't see that the neck goes straight down and stuff like that. But I mean, again, I still prefer the '89 Batman.
And this
look,
one he can just rip off like it's like
a
fruit roll up or something.
Mm-hmm. Yes,
he can just rip his mask off.
Yeah. And then from there, we kind of jump into Batman Forever, where Joel Schumacher's directing version, which
the second. Okay, do you have? He has two suits. This is his second suit. Do you have a photo of the first one? Because it's actually better.
Oh, I don't.
Oh, with the big white lines.
Oh, I actually don't.
Oh, no, that was the George Clooney suit.
Yeah.
Well, this is like the second Val Kilmer. This is like the suit that he uses at the end.
Yeah.
The one he's wearing to the beginning is almost.
Oh, I missed
very
that,
close
actually.
to the Michael Keaton one.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
It
actually looked good on him. It actually looked.
Yeah.
Like if you go to the beginning, this is like his new suit.
That's it. The new suit at the very end. Yeah. Fair enough.
The one thing I do love about this suit is the cutaways on the jawline, how it kind of goes out and comes back in.
You like that?
Okay.
Yeah, I've seen. There's a lot of like great Batman suits from the comics that do that, and just made me such a fan of that look.
Okay.
It's such a weird thing to like, but it's always something that just stuck with me.
I could see it being a stylistic thing, like in like illustrations, it looks good, but hard to make to work on a costume.
Yeah. Then of course
it looks a little strange.
Yeah. Because then we jumped from that to Batman and Robin, which gets even more like bizarre.
This is also they have 2 or 3 suits in this movie.
Yeah.
And this is also
they needed it for the toys.
Yeah, well, that's it. Yeah, you need the action figures. It was definitely the 90s where the action figures were kind of the action figures have always been dominant, but this is
like what is going on? Is this this is really where we were at, and this is what we were doing?
Batman,
Batman
and Robin for me was a visual
movie just on principle.
Yeah,
and I just always I look back and I'm like, those suits are just like plastic.
Oh, they're terrible. I mean, everything about Batman and Robin for me was visual puking up. It was puking up color.
What about the back credit card?
The back credit card. It wasn't not even just the stupidity of it, but the actual just the visual nausea. I saw this film in the theaters and I felt like I was going to be sick because it was too much visual color for me. It was like I was having an overload of color visual and weird shape line pattern visuals and stuff like this.
Yeah, it's
and Prince.
And Prince. Oh God, yeah.
The one thing I do love in that movie is it's so random, but I love when just Bane shows up as just like Poison Ivy's sidekick, and it's such a comic accurate Bane for that time period.
Yeah,
and he just shows up and he's angry and he punches everything and then he falls back and dies. And that to me, that's just that's most of Bane's appearances after Nightfall.
Yeah,
so I was like, yep,
really?
that was a great take on Bane.
Fair enough. from there, we jump to Batman Begins, which
I never actually loved this suit, to be honest.
right.
I don't like it either. The sculpt for the head is really bothersome.
Yeah.
I don't like the small mouthpiece that they give him for his particular face. I think that really throws off like something there. Like they have that extra cheeky spot.
Yep.
It's just I don't know. It's a bad sculpt for the face. Like the body,
yeah,
you can get away with, but like the head sculpt for the cowl, I don't like on this one.
Yeah, it makes sense.
Yeah, it's the cowl for me, and the collar. I never really loved around the cape.
Yeah,
the cape with the points and
yeah. It's a little weird. I agree there. Yeah. I mean, as movement though, it was physically probably the most accurate for moving to that date where they could actually get him to move around and do that. But it still doesn't help the fact that it still looked very weird around the head. I kind of agree with that. I haven't gone back. I need to go back and rewatch these films, the Batman Begins films again. I haven't seen them for a while. This, of course, is the Dark Knight. We got a few changes there.
This one's really good.
And then this one he has pulls in and changes. Yeah.
Yeah, and some of these he had like a second suit too, and like some of these movies, you got to remember they kind of like change up their suits in the movie.
Yeah.
But I like this one a lot. I like it a lot. I like I like how they they worked in the helmet thing to the cowl where it's just like a slip-on like top half helmet piece, which always seemed like that would be the way to do it.
Mm-hmm.
So I know in the comic book it links into the cape or whatever, but it's
not always. Not
always, but like this obviously made it like it just seems like that's the best way to make it practical and make it work.
Right.
Yeah. I don't know. To me, the biggest problem I had with this suit was just the bat symbol on it. It wasn't prominent enough, so it made it look like a military suit with a bat head on it and the gauntlet.
Well, it was because it was Teflon armor, right? That it was based off of.
Yeah, it was based off of real military armor, I believe.
Yeah. And of course, we go into Dark Knight Rises, which a little bit more. It's almost identical, actually. It's
very similar.
Very similar.
To the evolved version with more muted colors, and the belt isn't as yellow.
Yes. Yeah.
Or less shiny gold, I should say.
Yeah. Again, I think the funny thing is that we thought in the 1980s when Tim Burton's Batman came out, Michael Keaton's Batman came out, that was the most serious. And then you look at this, and suddenly this is the most serious. And you look back at the 1990s of Michael Keaton's Batman, it's kind of like
it's not that serious.
It's not that serious. It feels a little hokey.
Yeah, he's like catching balloons.
Yeah,
catching gas balloons and like like.
Well, also it's like not.
But at the time,
blatantly kills in that movie, like a few people.
Blows up a building of.
Yeah, but at the time though, it felt like it was the most serious of Batmans with Michael Keaton. It was the most serious version of Batman, and they bring this forward, and then but then they just keep upping the ante, and then I think the next time we see Batman at that point is Batfleck. From
this is my favorite live action bat suit, and I'll put that on record.
Okay, fair enough. Why is that? Just because it connects more with the comics that you enjoy, or?
This is the bat suit I envision. I think it wouldn't be outwardly armor. I think it would be something he would be able to move as a shadow in. Something he would be able, be a little more stealthy in.
Mm-hmm.
I think the bat symbol is prominent enough, but it also looked worn, and that was important to me. That it looked like he's fought in it for years, and that it wasn't a fresh new suit.
Yeah.
I agree with all of that. It all works. The costume works. It's like it feels like it's a one-piece cape and cowl type thing.
Yeah,
and it's all believable. This is believable that he can get in and out of this thing, and like a believable suit. Like, that has a lot to do with it. And the worn down look also. I agree.
Mm-hmm.
Helps a lot.
Yeah, that makes sense. And then we go from there. We go into the Justice League, which we get. The
nightmare suit,
the nightmare suit. Oops, sorry, my bad. Actually, it shouldn't be that one. I put those in the wrong place. Next is Suicide Squad. My bad.
That's the same suit, but I think
that is the same suit, isn't it? Yeah.
It just looks. I think that suit looks great. To me, it's like it's a combination of so many different Batman suits. It takes from a little bit of Jim Lee, a little bit of Frank Miller.
Yeah.
A little bit of all the best in terms of design. I think the things that works best for me are just like the simplicity of the belt and the gauntlets and the chest piece. It's like it's the simplicity that works for me.
Yeah. Fair enough. We then jump from the Suicide Squad to the Titans. This is the Batsuit in Titans, which I've only seen season 1. I know that Batman turns up at the very end, so I don't know, beyond that point. But I wanted to throw this in there because it is a live action Batman. What are your thoughts on that, guys?
It existed.
Fair enough. There's a lot of.
They took a photo. Like, who was wearing that? I'm.
Okay, I believe it was the actor from Game of Thrones who played Jorah Marmot.
Yes. Mm-hmm. Yeah, a slightly older version of Batman, but
his Bruce Wayne's not bad. It's just I think they went a little too old with it.
Yeah,
I think they should have scaled it back like probably 5 years to make it a little more believable.
Right. Well,
because Dick Grayson's in his 20s and Batman's in his 50s.
Yeah,
I think they could have worked on that age. Make him like 45-ish.
Yeah, that's.
He's only had one Robin at that point too.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I think didn't they bring in the other Robin, Jason Todd?
Yeah, but that was later. Then they brought him in. They brought in Jason Todd, and then last season they brought in the weirdest version of Tim Drake with his he has the reverse origin story. They killed off his parents for seemingly no reason. I don't know. This show. It went to one of my favorite shows, so it's just a dumpster fire that I can't recommend to anyone.
Really? I only saw season 1, so I haven't seen season 2 and 3. 3, right? Yeah.
Season. Yeah. It's took a dive.
Okay, fair enough. Then we jump to the Justice League, which again back to Batfleck again. This is a bit more of a built-up armor.
More.
And then we of course jump into some of the earlier stuff here. Now you wanted to talk a little bit about this particular.
Yeah, this is a suit that a lot of people hated on online, and it was people were like, "Oh, Batman he wouldn't even need to wear a duster. He doesn't need goggles. He got the eye beams." But to me, this was just such a cool moment. There's a lot of references in comics to different superheroes wearing just trench coats over their costumes. It's just such a stupid thing that I love. Especially when it's like the Thing wearing just a trench coat and a top hat and glasses.
Yes. Ninja Turtles.
Exactly.
Yeah, we're going out. We look like McGruff, the crime dog, and no one will notice us because we're wearing that's like a weird 80s thing. Like you put on they even did that in Miss Piggy did that
yeah, exactly. It's such an established trope. And then this is something that made it into the comics. Tom King wrote it in of Batman in a desert wearing the exact same thing with a gun. And I always subtly felt like it was included because people said Batman wouldn't do that. So he was like, Batman does it.
Yeah.
Really? Yeah, I'm more in favor of the no gun Batman for psychological reasons of losing his parents to guns. It's just, I don't know. And that's why I have problems with the what's it called?
The Snyder Cut?
The Snyder Cut. Yeah. Well, no. The Snyder version in general, I should say.
I actually agree with you that Batman shouldn't use guns, but I think Snyder had a vision that other people didn't have for Batman of, showing him at his worst and then bringing him up to be a lot lighter of a person.
Fair enough.
I thought that was a much more interesting, fresher take than everyone who's just like, we're going to make him darker and darker and lose everything.
Yeah. Fair enough. Well, yep. Liam is saying that he's the detective. So
he's a detective.
But that's where I think we're going with this version of the Batman. I feel like the Batman hopefully will go back to the detective element here.
I think it's very much going to be that. I mean, from what the looks of it seems like.
No, totally. And then from there, we kind of jump into, I think I've got the right timeline here, of Gotham.
Oh, the Gotham.
We see the Batman, we see Batman turn up in the very last moments.
It looks like a...
Yeah, very, very CG kind of thing. But it's I don't like the abs myself. I think it was
I really did not love this suit.
Looks like a basketball imprint.
Yeah.
No, it looks like your friend that made a Batman suit but didn't have enough money to make the movie version. So he's like, I designed my own, guys.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah,
They
the
could have spent more
abs are
time on
just
that.
too weird.
Yeah.
Those
I'm trying to
don't
figure
Yeah,
out
they're
whether
not
this
real
is
abs.
even.
It's like circles.
They're not abs. It don't even
Yeah.
look. It just looks.
Yeah.
That doesn't look right.
Yeah.
Looks like a
Well,
butt.
again, we see it
Butthole.
at the, because Gotham the series is all about young Bruce Wayne. We only get a flash forward to this one scene right in the very last scene. It's very much like Smallville did a very
Yeah.
light flash
a little
forward
like,
to Superman at the
now I'm
end of.
wearing the suit.
Their
And
Catwoman
Yeah,
stuff
yeah.
in Gotham was
over.
great, though.
Yeah,
I
oh,
love
yeah.
their Catwoman.
Oh
That
yeah,
was top notch.
she nailed it. I think the
I thought she
villains
nailed
were
it. She
all
made
the
Bruce
villains were
better.
fantastic. Yeah, I loved Gotham villains. All the series, the
Yeah.
villains were all key for that series for me.
Zaz was fun in the show, which was crazy because you didn't
Yeah,
expect
Zaz.
fun Zaz.
I love that actor too, and I forgot his name, but he is so cool.
Oh, he's great
as
on
Zaz.
Barry.
Yeah. Yeah, he gets around. He does a lot of stuff. Anyway, from Gotham, we actually then jump into Batwoman the series, and this is actually action figures, but I couldn't find a detail enough image of Batman from Batwoman. The series itself is like, yeah, it wasn't one of my favorites, but it's an interesting take as a Batman's costume from that series.
I mean, the show looks. I mean, there's not the show. The costume looks fine. It's pretty standard. I just don't love the look of the bat sign on him.
Yeah, fair enough. I actually don't mind the bat suit sign on this particular one, but again, there's nothing different, whatever. And then, of course, from here we jump into the Batman, which of course comes out this coming week. What do you think, guys?
I think it's way overdone. I think it just looks like way too many pieces on top of each other.
Yeah.
I don't think it looks tactically sound to wear, even if it's probably bulletproof. I can't see it being easy to move in.
Yeah.
And I just hate that. I don't know. I've since they released it, I've hated the look of the super thin bat signal to kind of counter Ben Affleck's thicker one.
Okay.
I don't know. The thinner one looks kind of weird to me.
I don't know. I personally like the thinner one, but Elijah, what do you think?
I like it. I mean, again, I don't love it.
Mhm.
I think that this is like a lot of things. This is what he'll be wearing for half the movie, and then he'll get he'll have an upgrade, or he'll have a different suit at the end, or whatever.
Right.
It does seem very like put together. I mean, the shoulders and the cape and the cowl. It looks like something that he just kind of like scrapped together.
Yeah.
But I'm assuming that you're going to see a second version of a suit that they haven't even advertised or shown yet.
That was one of the cool things, I think, in Batman Begins, was that we actually get this moment where he's trying to piece together things from different companies.
I like
and stuff
that too. It's one of the better segments. It's kind of like the building Iron Man sequence in Iron Man.
Correct. Yes. Yeah. So I'm hoping.
Work it out.
Yeah, I'm hoping we see this, since this is like Batman Year One, right, Max? It's kind of like supposed to be like back at the basics.
Yeah, they're calling it like his year one. It's not an origin story for him. It's not really exactly Frank Miller's year one. Not to be confused with, I should say, but it's they're calling it
an earlier storyline of like him first, whatever.
Like he's already Batman. He's already done the training. Alfred knows he's taken the vow to fight crime. He's Batman. And did you? One thing they said is that the chest piece comes off and he could use it as like a blade.
It looks like it. It looks like a batarang.
I don't get the function of that if he has batarangs. Aren't those sharp enough?
Makes sense. Maybe this.
I also hate the gauntlets. The gauntlets are flat now, which to me is just makes no sense.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I see. Yeah, they are.
Yeah.
Too. Yeah.
Batman's always had the spiked gauntlets, and taking that away from him, I think kind of also disturbs the silhouette for me of him, like when he's in that pose.
For sure,
that's true,
completely. And then we look to the future, and in the future we have Michael Keaton at least coming back. It looks like they've got a very similar costume design here as his original suit. But how cool is that? I'm excited to see Michael Keaton back.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know what the plan is for him long term, but it's cool to see him back for, I guess, 2 movies if he's doing this and Batgirl.
Batgirl, yep. This is from scenes from Batgirl, and they've changed his his shoulder thing a bit, which is a little strange.
Yeah,
I think that's also a stunt suit, though.
This is a stunt guy and a stunt suit.
Right.
Yeah.
Both. It's not Michael Keaton.
Right, but still, the look of the suit itself.
Guy.
Right.
But that guy's jawline, he should be playing Batman.
Yeah.
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 I think
but the suit is going to have very similar. I don't know. The suit's still going to have very similar looks. I mean, again, it's hard to tell. Maybe they'll, but compared to the soft,
looks more Batman Returns versus the original, Batman.
Yeah,
that one's more Batman Returns.
Either way, there looks like there's going to be some sort of upgrades. We don't have the yellow belt clip anymore at this point. That's all gone black.
He's got no Nikes on, man.
Yeah, no, yeah.
Or loafers.
They lost the sponsorship. He's got to wear Reeboks now.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, basically, there's that's the Batman kind of things. We're gonna check it out. Hopefully by next week we'll be able to give a more breakdown of what we thought of the actual movie itself, and I'm sure we've all would have seen it by then. One other last thing I was gonna bring anything else on Batman, guys, before we move on?
Movie wise, no.
Okay.
No, we'll see.
Fair enough.
We'll let you know next week.
One other thing I'll be picking up during the week, it's been sent out in the mail as of this coming week, I believe, so I'm going to do a live unboxing of it, is this guy. I'm actually getting the deluxe version of
two figures.
Mandalorian. It's 2 figures. It's Boba Fett in his Tusken uniform, as well as Boba Fett freshly out of the Sarlacc pit kind of look and vibe, which I really love, that broken down look. But the detail again on the Hot Toys by Sideshow are just freaking amazing. This is what it comes with, all these extra pieces. Really incredible. Yeah. So I'll keep everybody.
Digital. Are they digital sculpting these now, or this is someone actually sculpting?
I want to say that they're all hand sculpted. I'm pretty sure they do. The cool thing, Sideshow is just only 25 minutes away from me over in Thousand Oaks.
Yeah,
and it's like it's so close, and I don't know if they do tours over there or not. I've been meaning to contact and find out whether they do that sort of stuff. But I would love to go check out their facility, just because. And I know they're just a primary. I know they do create stuff there, but also Hot Toys, I'm not sure where Hot Toys is connected through them directly or whether they're outsourced from somewhere else. But
no, they are.
Either way,
it's part of the
company. That is part of the company. Yeah. Or either way, it's I'm excited to get this figure, so I'm going to be doing an unboxing live probably during the week, but I'll keep everyone posted on that. Apart from that, guys, I mean, there was not much other news for the week. I mean, we've come up to an hour and nearly 15 minutes here. So anything you can think of, last thoughts? Any other additional things?
They did release a Clint Eastwood Sideshow collectible from Good, Bad, and the Ugly.
I saw an image of that. Yes, I did.
Yeah, that looked really cool.
Okay. Yeah.
I will say, I was just thinking about that when you brought that up.
Oh, that's cool. Yeah.
I can't think of anything else, other Sideshow stuff. I know that you mentioned the Back to the Future stuff last week, so I'm excited.
Yeah, Back to the Future. Yeah, they're back in dropping everything again. There's so much cool stuff I want to get, and there's so much stuff I can't afford right now. So
I know, God,
so many great things
right now. I know.
Yeah, I know.
Frustrating.
It's
like now is not the time to have all this cool stuff. Like you did it.
Yeah.
But I guess there's enough wait on them that like you have like a year to before it's even available. So.
Yeah.
Plenty of time to pre-order.
Thank you, Liam, for joining us in chat. It seems like we were kind of quiet on the chat this day today, but again, it was a very quiet week for news. There was nothing, really huge. But next week, we definitely will be giving our thoughts on the Batman and whatever other news comes to happen. So, Max and Elijah, thanks for joining us once again. And to the chat, thank you once again for watching. Please like and subscribe. And we will be back next Sunday with more news. So catch you later, guys. Thank you.